This is a video showing you the managed job transfer process that we've created for the AWR CRM. It's only available at the regional franchisee level for a very good reason, because the jobs are owned and managed by the regional. This process is actually available in the RF admin portion of their login. You go down to Manage Job Transfer, and there are your parameters for the job transfer process. Okay, now before you just to explain this here, you can select a franchise. This is particularly useful if you want to, for example, transfer all or a number of jobs from one franchisee to another. If you've got a sale, then create a new franchise account and then select the old one here. You can also do it by customer, so you can select a particular customer, and you can select the date. There may not be too many situations where that's applicable. But first, before you start on this process, you need to deal with the jobs. You need to tidy up the jobs and make sure that they're all complete and correct for the old franchisee. Otherwise the system won't be up to date and the transfer may become a bit messy. So what we do, I've done a test scenario. Let's just look at this report here. Okay, so this is the customer that I want to transfer. These are the actual jobs that I want to transfer, these ones here. So I'm going to, I can see that as far as the invoices are concerned, there are those. Now, let's look at the calendar for franchisee number 2. Franchisee number 2, and this is the actual job itself. Okay, so what I'm actually wanting to do is, let's say it's the 20th of June when the transfer date. So what I need to do is I actually need to go into that job and I need to complete the job up until the transfer date. Okay, so I complete those two. 20th is the next appointment for that job. So I go complete, bang, those are completed. Now what I need to do, go back to the invoices, I need to make sure, okay, so these are invoiced the day after, so I need to go in and complete those. I might just do that in invoice batch accept. It's the 7th and the 14th. So I put in there 10:06. That there, anytime, view. Okay, now I need these two here, that one and that one. I want to accept. So now what I've done is I've tidied up the stuff, the invoices and the job appointments for the old franchisee. Now I can come back and do the transfer of that job. So if I go 10:06, so that's the customer I want, and I'm going to do it from the 20th is the transfer date, and I click view. What this will do is now list down the jobs that I want to transfer. Okay, so just ignore this. It's actually in the job number and not the quote number, because you can see here that I've tested. This doesn't actually have a quote, this particular job. So I'm going to select that. That's the one that I want to transfer. You can actually see this date here, because I've completed all the previous job appointments, it's actually displaying what the next one is. So it's actually confirming to me that my transfer date is correct. This is a secondary check here. If this does not correspond with your transfer date, then you better check that you have that you've completed the right number. So I'm just going to click transfer. Now what it's going to do is it's going to ask who is the new franchisee. Now is franchisee 2 that had this. I'm going to transfer it to franchisee number 3. Okay, click job transfer, and it says that it's completed successfully. Okay. Now, if I go back into here, and if I refresh the invoice report, you will see that the invoices are still here. But if I go into franchisee number 2 and do that same report, it should show me the ones that are left in there. If I now go to the job sheet, and if I refresh this, okay, job successfully completed, you can see it's now got the franchisee 3, and it's got, starting from the 20th of the 6th, all those. So I know now that it's been transferred from franchisee number 2 to franchisee number 3. Okay. I just noticed that it is going franchisee number 2 here, but when you actually reopen this, instead of refreshing, which I've cheated, it'll actually change that to franchisee number 3. Okay. So basically what it's done is it has transferred the paired invoice. It's transferred, well, it hasn't actually done anything to the customer invoice because it's still coming from the regional. So it hasn't done anything there, but it has changed the paired invoice. So if I were to, for example, log out of here, and if I was to go into franchise 3, log in. Once again, just bear with us, it's the test server and it takes a while to log in. Okay, now if I was to go to invoices, I should be able to see that customer, and there are the invoices from the 21st going forward. Remember, there was one on the 7th and one on the 14th, so it's actually brought those over to franchise number 3. If I log out of here and I go to franchisee number 2, and if I go to invoice, go test 10th 6th, what I should be displayed is just those 2 there.